guys? So today I'm going to just go through the motions of changing your brake pads. I ended up went to the track and ended up just killing the stock pads. So my brake light sensor went on for the fronts, so I'm just going to replace the fronts today. The backs look like they've got quite a bit of meat on them still, so let's get started. So here's what I got for the brake pads. Just a couple brake pad sensors, some OEM Textar pads. I was considering going with some like Ferrado street track pads, but the problem is they don't allow the use of the stock sensors, which most people who track their cars don't really care because they're changing their pads so often anyway. But my Cayman is not my track car. I just took it out because I didn't have tires for the M3. So anyways, just ended up going with these guys. End up getting them from FCP, so if I need to replace them, free replacements from FCP Euro. So also got some AT or AT, I don't know, Type 200 brake fluid. For my track car, I usually go with RBF 600, but no point in using expensive brake fluid for a car that I don't track very often. And AT, even for occasional track use, light track duty I guess, not the worst fluid to use. Alright, along with your pads and sensors, you're also going to need some these vibration dampeners right here. So basically they go into the pistons on the caliper. It just helps dissipate the vibration, I guess. So these are only on the front on my car, but I was looking through the parts diagram and it doesn't show these at all. So like I said, they were already on my car, so I'm going to continue to use some new ones, but you may or may not need them depending on the car. Here's the part number if you need it. Got these from FCP Euro. Let's go ahead and get the car lifted up. Alright, first step first, undo the wheels. Alright, hopefully you guys can see this. So I'm just going to demonstrate this on the front driver's side and then the rear driver's side. The passenger side should be the same, aside from maybe a harness or so. But anyways, so we've got our harness right here. So all we're going to do is just pop this cap off. Maybe cap so that we have the harnesses free. Recap that. Pop this harness out from here. Alright. So then we have this harness right here will undo this clip. Right here, and that lets us unplug the sensor. It's this one right here. This one, I think that's the odometer, something. So we'll leave that. Here's the brake pad sensor right here. We'll remove this clip over here. After we have to pop this pin out real quick. Then after that, we'll undo the brake harness line right here so that the caliper can hang freely. And then there's these two, hope you can see this, two T55 bolts right here. So we'll get those off once we take this off. So go and grab my grab a punch real quick. Hopefully this is small enough. Grab a little hammer. Grab a flathead so we could pop the little clip out. Cool, so that's big enough. Oh. This little clip, I guess this was this keeps the thing, the pin in place. It was right over here. I think I might have broke it, to be honest. Fuck. The little baby cotter pin. I think I did break it. Oops. Well, now we know. Remove the little cotter pin first before you start punching this pin out. They're pretty good. I can't reach anymore. Just throw some lube on there. That's not doing it. Alright, there we go. Wiggle her free. Alright. I don't know how this clip sat. So we got that guy out. Now we should be able to pull out the pads once we spread them a little bit. I don't know how I'm gonna do that. Gonna have to transfer over these little dampers maybe. I don't know if this is the best way to do this. So these pistons are connected, so if I move, oh, there's one. I'll leave those in for now. So as I move one side, the other side's going to follow suit or push the other way, so just got to be aware of that. Okay, that should be good. Pads are now out. Yeah, so these sensors, they just come out if you take some pliers, pinch these little guys, maybe. If your wear sensors didn't go off, then you should be able to just replace these, reuse these sensors if you're just changing out pads, like for the track or something. But in my case, my sensors did come off because there's some meat on this pad, but this pad is fucking tiny. This is about 3 millimeters, so I'm gonna replace that guy. So this is kind of a pain in the ass. In order to get these pistons pushed in all the way, I'm going to have to squeeze them by hand. So a typical pad spreader, there's just no way for this to work. You can maybe finagle something, but it's not gonna work well, and it's just gonna damage some shit. So had some luck just throwing the old pads in and then pushing on them. So hopefully that will do the trick. Let me get this bolt undone real quick. What sucks is that there's no way to set this down without damaging anything, so it's just kind of a pain in the ass. Alright, so I've got this free. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to throw the old dampener in real quick. This way it spreads evenly. I'm going to throw these old pads in. Let me throw this dampener in. So by the way, these dampeners, they go in, there's a big weight and a small weight. Big weight's on top. And they just pop right in. Just like that. Alright, so I'm gonna... Ah, damn it. Of course, I'm fucking up. Stupid shit. Maybe I can just push on it like this. Alright, so... let's see if I can squeeze it. It's moving. Alright, so yeah, it sucks, but you just gotta Hulk out on it, and it does work. So like I said before, when I was removing these, the calipers do move together, so if you push one side in, the other side's going to push out a little bit. So you just have to kind of go back and forth. Alright. That should be good. I think they're both in all the way. Cool. So I'm going to remove these old ones. Old little dampeners. And I'm going to go ahead and throw the new ones in because you can't quite fit them in without taking the caliper off. I mean, maybe you could, but I think it would be kind of a pain in the ass. So I've already got them off. Pop her off. Alright, So let's go ahead and get these new ones in. Like I said, big weight goes on top. They come with this little cardboard backing strip. It's got adhesive on it, I think, to keep the pads in place. So I don't think you need to really grease them up at all, because, well, there's adhesive on it and it wouldn't really work very well now, would it? So I'm gonna get this bolt on real quick so I can take a second and gain some strength back, because I'm fucking tired just from holding this all up. Okay. Alright, so it's held up now. Yep, of course, fucked it up with my pads. Alright. So as you can see, the adhesive is all on there. So it's gonna be a pain in the ass to peel those off, but I think you're gonna have to figure it out. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to get this adhesive off. See if I can do it while it's still on the car. Otherwise, I'm gonna be kind of screwed. Honestly, it probably would be easier to just have done this while it was off of the car. That's off. Make sure it's seated properly. Okay. Alright. I didn't grease those up. Alright, I'm going to grease these up as well in the same spots as the rear. So, kind of right here where the clip is going to sit, I'll grease them up. And then right here on the corners where they sit on the pins. Might just lube that up later. Okay. So I'm gonna try not to get this, hit that sticky part. Okay. Now that it's seated, then I'll push it up against the sticky part. Okay. Same thing. And I'm just going to lube the spring clip later. Just because I don't know exactly where it's going to sit. Okay. There's that. And then you don't, you know how I put this on the rears, I put lubricant on there, but since it's got that sticky pad, I don't think I need it. Shouldn't need it. Okay, so I'll slide this guy in. Try not to hit that sticky shit. There you go. And now we can press it up against that. Okay, that's in. Alright, so now that I know they're in, I'm going to go ahead and torque these bolts down. Torque them down to 63 foot-pounds. Okay, that's one. Alright, so that's torqued. Let's not forget this bolt right here, so this bolt just goes right there. And just tighten it by hand. Like I said, this one just gets, those big bolts get torqued down to 63 pound-feet. This is going to get torqued down to fucking good and tight. Just hand tight, basically. Boom, tightened. Alright. Okay, so now all that's left is to throw the spring clips on, give them a little grease, and get that pin in. I forgot that I still need to plug in this other, the wiring harness as well. Where did that go? Oh, right here. So the way that they go in is you want this side facing out. Alright, if you look at the old pads, they're like so. You got the sensor getting worn down right there. So you want the clips to face the outside of the caliper right there. So, and then the way that it goes is going to be like this, so that the main harness goes around that side, right? You wouldn't want it like this, because then you wouldn't have enough length on the harness. So I go ahead and clip this. This goes on the outside. Okay, that's clipped in. I'm going to go ahead and get these spring clips on, and I'm going to clean up this pin. I'm going to line this up so that the harness would go above like this, right? So that way I can fit the harness through here, right? So I'm going to go ahead and clip this in already. Okay, that's clipped in. I'll go ahead and throw this guy on here as well. So remember this little switch thing that goes facing the outside? Alright, there you go, it's clipped in. Okay, so now that that's clipped in, I can finagle this maybe. Okay, that should be like that. There you go. So it's gonna sit right there. I'm gonna just throw some lube on these, on the spring clip real quick. Yeah, battery goes. All right. Some lube on here. Just use my finger. Easier. That should be good enough. Okay, so I'm gonna throw the spring clip right down there. Alright, and then now it's time to lube up this pin. Don't need too much. And remember the hole for the pin. I'm going to make sure that's sitting sort of left and right, so that I have access to it. Okay, so just gonna give it a couple whacks. Okay, once I start getting close to the spring clip, I'm gonna have to push it down. Sit up a little bit for this. Okay. Make sure the wire is above the pin. Okay. Okay, still got a little way to go. There you go. So once the pin's visible right there, or the hole for the pin, that's when you know you're good to go. Alright. Let's throw this pin on real quick. There's that. Boom. Okay, so those are plugged in. Let's go ahead and get this harness on. This gets held on by that rubber cap for the bleeder screw. Forgot about that guy. So yeah, just plug her in like so. Should be good. Clip her up. Alright. So then, yeah, it's just held in by the bleeder screw, and right here. Alright, that's it. That should be good to go. Alright, so I went ahead and sprayed the pin with lubricant this time, and we'll get this little spring clip out too, which I'm not quite sure how this goes on. Just pull it out. Okay, so it just pulled out. It's just a little cotter pin. What it looks like. Yep, so it's just a little cotter pin. Hopefully I have an extra one because I broke the other one. Didn't see a hole there though. Okay, so let's go ahead and pop this pin out. So this one, sensor's just right here. Plugs in similar fashion here. So we'll just unclip it real quick. Alright, I'm going to pop this guy out. I'm going to go and undo this clip right here. Because I can just pry it open with a flathead. There we go. Alright, there's that guy. Sitting in here too. Alright. So it's held on in the back. There's a little clamp, if you want to call it that, to replace them right now. Alright, there's the pin. Oh, I was looking at the wrong side. Okay. Got that. So the pads and the clip should just pop out if I just depress them a little bit. Let me get my trusty rag. Those guys down. Okay, that one side's good. This guy. Okay. Now these pads should just pop right out. There we go. Still have plenty of meat on my rear calipers, so I'm just leaving those. And I'm not going to replace them, I'm just going to put them back on. So I cleaned off a little bit of the brake dust where the pistons make contact with the pads. So I'm going to throw a little bit of grease on there, some anti-squeal grease. you can see where the spring clip holds these down. I'm going to throw a little bit of grease on there. And I'm also going to throw some grease on these sides. This is where it sits and hits these pins right here. I don't know if you can see that. So I'm going to throw some grease on that real quick. Make sure you line these up. I think some people say the clip is supposed to be facing up, but or on the spring clip where the wiring harness is, it's supposed to be facing at the top, but I mean, here it makes sense that it's on the bottom because the little spot on the caliper that holds your wiring harness is towards the bottom. So I'm gonna keep it like that. Still a good bit of meat on here. So yeah, let's grease these up real quick. I'm using just this ATE lubricant. I bought it a long time ago for my E36. So just gonna throw a little bit of lube on here. I probably should have done the other sides first. I'll spread that in a second. I'm gonna throw a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here. Try to wire brush off all the extra, or all the brake dust if you can. Not the end of the world if you don't. Okay. Okay, that should be good enough. So I'm just going to try and spread this a little bit. Don't need much. A little goes a long way here. Try not to get any on the pad itself. Oh, my flashlight went out. Gee dang it. Alright. That's annoying. Shit don't last very long at all. Okay. So now I'm going to put the pads in. Which way am I going? Okay, I'm going like this. So these should just slip in. Again, if you are actually replacing the pads, you're going to need to make sure the pistons are pushed in all the way. And when you're doing that, make sure that you watch your brake fluid levels. Alright, see, so they just fall in like that, and they sit on those pins that are inside. So here you get the spring clip just sitting right there. This, oh shit, yeah, some light. So, yep, this little allocation right here, that's for the wiring harness. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hammer a pin back through here. It goes over the top of the clip, and then it goes to the other side, and then we put that cotter pin or the spring clip right there where this allocation is. So let's do that. Okay guys, so when you go to put the pin in, I'm gonna scrape all of the extra brake dust and crud off of it. But just be aware that the rear pins are shorter than the pins for the front. So I just hammered in the longer pin, and well, it's too long and you won't have access to this hole for the spring clip. So just be aware. So let's scrape this guy off real quick. I'm not going crazy with it. If I wanted to, I would throw it under my fucking polisher, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna throw some grease on it real quick. Try not to do too much. Okay, should be good. Alright, so let's start hammering this guy in. So again, you want to line up those holes for the spring clip so that it's sideways. So it's facing left and right so you have access to the hole. Make sure my holes are lined up. Alright. Hey, look at that. I'm gonna push the spring clip too. So yeah, the pin goes all the way through, and you want it to go over the spring clip, so you're gonna have to push it down while you kind of push it in. Then you want this wiring harness as well to be on top, clearing the pin. So I have to give it a few whacks with the hammer. Just be careful where you're tapping, because it's real easy to hit the caliper. Once you get it all the way seated, should be good. Make sure you can see the hole. So it's right there. Might have to rotate this a little bit. Oopsies. Wow, so that other one might be wider, and I forced it in. That makes me feel good. Alright, so then from here, just clean off the excess grease that you have on this side. It shouldn't be too much. Okay. So now, let's go ahead and get that spring clip in. So, spring clip. So you can see the hole right here, so I'm just gonna push her in. Of course, it's kind of hard to push on. These pliers. Oh. I need some help with this. Oh. That sucks. There you go. Spring clip is on. There. So you can see how it sits right in this little crevasse. God damn it. Fucking uneven floor, man. Okay, you can see it. It sits right there in that little crevice. So I'm going to go ahead and slip this wiring harness into this little groove on there. Alright. And then clips around. Here's this clip right here. Clips around here. Oh, okay. Just clips like yay. Make sure you, around back, there's this guy right here that the harness also slips into over the axle. Right here. Just slips in like so. Make sure you blow out all the crud that's in here. And then get her plugged in. I don't think orientation matters. Make sure you clip her on. Boom. Done. Alright, so that should be it. I got everything tightened down and torqued up. Or everything tightened up and torqued down to spec. So now all I have to do is just get the car back on the ground and then bed in the brake pads. Haven't found the exact process that's recommended by Textar, who makes the pads. All they say, and including in the Cayman manuals for bedding in, is just to drive like 200 miles, avoid emergency stops and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm probably gonna do what I normally do, which is like, you know, speed up to 60 and do several hard stops to like 20 miles an hour or so. So yeah, we'll see how they work. Anyways, that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. Deuces.